All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. All right, guys, so yesterday we had a live stream that we did, and we were rejecting to the downside, and we were coming to the bottom of this ascending channel, this ascending channel. Let me go ahead and turn off this range real quick. And we were looking at taking along from the bottom of the channel, which was also our golden pocket. If we go pull a golden pocket from the lows of the channel or from the lows of this upper range to the highs that we made, and we look at that golden pocket was coming in right around the bottom of that channel there. You can see right in this area here. Now, last night during the stream, or yesterday evening during the stream, I did say I'm not looking for the long based off of the way that money flow looked and based off of no divergences on some of the some of the time frames. We were having some lower time frame bullish divergences. We did get a little push up here throughout the night, and we dropped a bit even throughout the night as well, continuing into the morning. And when we did come back down to backtest that channel and the point of control, now the point of control of this range, if I turn that range back on, it is just the range of all the price action within this ascending channel or this upper area here. So if we go ahead and turn that range back on, let me go ahead and get that on the chart. You can see that the point of control on Coinbase, which you guys do know, I respect Coinbase volume levels more than Bybit's. The point of control on Coinbase was also near the bottom of that channel. Now, earlier today, when we did come down, we back tested that point of control again, and we started to bounce. Even though we didn't take out our lows, I did look for long on the reclaim of that point of control, and I completely TP'd it when we started rejecting up here from the naked weekly point of control. And so, of course, let's go ahead and zoom in on the chart a bit. That was a successful trade that I took there. On the 15-minute chart, you can see hit into that point of control once again. This time we were seeing bull divs on the chart on the 15-minute, and money flow was rising on the chart on the 15-minute overall. And that kind of gave me my signal to look for a long on the reclaim of the POC. Reclaim of the POC, stop right below that low and take it up. We just a couple hours ago hit that naked weekly point of control. When I started seeing us reject from that naked weekly point of control right here, I just manually closed out the entire trade, thinking that we could continue to finally come grab at least these semi-equal lows down here, or even come down to our first box of support down in this area, where we have the swing failure pattern of our lows at 93K, our semi-equal lows around 93K or 92.8. So, but Bitcoin did make another move down to the bottom of the channel, held the bottom of the channel again, and pushed up and made new highs. Now, one thing that I am a bit concerned about on this push up is this looks like a three-wave corrective move to me so far, and we are rejecting and dropping now. We are rejecting and starting to drop on this little push up that we saw. We grabbed our local liquidity above us on both of these highs, and now we are dropping below that. If we do go on to the Bybit chart, you can see Bybit's point of control is different. So first, on the Coinbase chart, you can see it's near the lows of the range, right around 95,750-ish. But if we go to Bybit's chart, you can see the point of control is quite a bit higher. It's at 94,800 instead of 93,750. It's at 94,800, so almost $1,000 higher. But you can see we are having some trouble with that Bybit point of control. One rejection, two rejection. We busted above it, and now we're below it once again. But the way that I do want to say this, the way that we are finding support at the bottom of this channel, every time we come down to the bottom of this ascending channel, this is the same ascending channel, we are seeing it hold as support. And look at our money flow. Our money flow is bottomed out and is curving pretty nicely to the upside on the hourly chart. I don't like, though, how we didn't come grab the liquidity down here. Once again, did we front ran the lows from yesterday? We front ran the lows here at the bottom of the channel and even the lows at 92.8. But primarily earlier this morning, I did want to see that SFP of yesterday's lows and then the reclaim. But as soon as we got the reclaim, even without the SFP, knowing that Bitcoin's been doing that a lot lately, and it's at the bottom of an ascending channel, I did look for that scalp long, and that's why I was so ready to TP here, because I do think there's a possibility we could come down and sweep these lows again. But Bitcoin is relatively holding strong, finding support at the bottom of the channel here. And maybe we can see another push up to the midline of the channel up in this area. We do have a naked daily point of control up in that area. And there's a couple other things. Let's go back onto the Bybit chart. You can see the value area high of our range on both charts is about the same. It's about 95,600, 95,500, 95,600. So I do think it's a possibility that we could move up to that area, reject, and then come down and grab our liquidity into our value area low. Grab the liquidity of 92.8, this guy here, into our value area low, fill that volume profile, and then maybe make a move back up. Or in the bearish case scenario, we would be losing our ascending channel. So if we come down here, we bounce, come up to bearishly backtest that channel, and then see the real big drop. And this is something we need to watch for. So on this chart, I've been talking about this the last few days with this ascending channel. Let me go ahead and clean this up just a bit here. On this chart with this ascending channel, I am a bit worried that if we start to break this structure down, this structure of higher highs and higher lows on the chart, that we could see a much bigger flush to the downside. You can see here on this overall relief rally to the upside, we are seeing the bullish price action starting to get exhausted up near our key level of resistance. Now, we were seeing some exhaustion here as well, but we weren't really at a very key level of resistance. We had our range for 8-9 days, and then we continued the impulse. Well, this impulse on this relief rally has finally pushed up to that very, very key level of resistance, being that large point of control of our previous all-time high range, what I call the all-time high range. And now we are seeing that rejection from that area, which was to be expected. It's our strongest level of resistance on the chart. So far, this rejection does look a little bit more corrective, though. It's not a big impulse down that we were possibly gonna see. So far, it looks corrective. So one of the things that I'm looking at is maybe this ascending channel trend is going to stay intact for a bit longer. We did front run that key daily level at 98.3. Let me go ahead and turn on those dailies. Let's see, 98.3 up here near our order block. And look at this. It's also at the top of our ascending channel. So one of the things, if we do hold this channel, come up, flip the midline, we could work our way up to the top of the channel, which is also where that daily's at, SFPing our highs that we made on Friday, and then see the big dump to the downside. That is something that I'm going to be aware of and I'm going to be looking for. Also, that would allow us to put in another drive of bear div possibly on the charts as far as NAMI and Market Cipher B goes. But right now, okay, so we've hit into this naked weekly point of control earlier. You can see we just saw a wick past it, but on the 2-hour chart. But overall, we are kind of rejecting from this naked weekly point of control, which just confirmed yesterday, obviously, when the weekly closed. So now that we've hit into this and it's not naked, I'm going to go ahead and delete it, get it off the chart. We still do have a naked daily point of control around 95,865. And we do, now that the day just closed 5 minutes ago, let's go ahead and look at our new naked daily point of control to see if we have a new one for the day. So it does look like we have a new naked daily point of control at about 95, 160-ish. So I'll go ahead and mark that out now. Naked daily point of control. Let's just do this right now. 95.1. Okay. And let me go ahead and throw this into my folder. All right, so looks like we do have a new naked daily point of control there. That could act as support because if we do zoom in a bit on the chart, let's go to the 15-minute chart, and let's just look at from our lows earlier today to our highs that we made. Golden pocket is going to be right at that naked daily point of control. So if Bitcoin is going to continue to hold the lows of this channel, then a scalp long level or a long opportunity could be longing the touch of this naked daily point of control, bringing it all the way up to the top of the channel, to that daily level, with your stop below Sunday's lows. Now, I do want to warn about weekend lows, guys. Weekend lows and weekend highs oftentimes get taken out. We had front run the taking out of that low this morning. So I do think if we do not see bull divs coming into this golden pocket and naked daily point of control, I will not look for the long. Locally on the chart, you can see we're on the 15-minute chart now. We do have bear divs that have formed and confirmed. Higher highs in the price action here, lower highs in the momentum waves. Money flow doesn't look the worst. It is rising to the upside, but it looks like it's starting to curl over here just a bit. And I am concerned still that we are going to come take out Sunday's lows. If we come down to this golden pocket and naked daily point of control at 94.2, without seeing local bull divs, we would have to see bull divs on like the 6 minute and under, because as we're working our way down here, you're going to want to see lower lows on the price action and you're going to want to see higher lows on the momentum waves here. But as we are working our way down there, if we're not seeing bull divs, or if we go on our CVD and open interest chart and we're seeing some bearish CVD, I will not be looking for a long there. If we're seeing bullish CVD, I will be looking for a long there. So far, we're not seeing a bias locally either way. There is a possibility that we could be seeing some bullish CVD form from Sunday's lows, though. If we look at Sunday's lows here, during the live stream, we were making those lows. We are forming higher lows in the price action. CVD is about, no, it's not. Okay, so CVD is still rising as well. And open interest is relatively flat right now. So no bias as far as our CVD and open interest goes. But I do think that Bitcoin overall, as far as our hourly money flow, looks pretty good here on the charts. And we could see, because this channel bottom is holding, we could see a bounce from this naked daily point of control area and see a bigger push up. Okay, let's zoom out onto the 4-hour chart real quick and let's look. So your 4-hour momentum wave has bottomed. You can see on NAMI, we were confirming some bull divs between this low here and this low, and then higher lows on the momentum waves. Money flow on NAMI on the 4-hour is looking pretty decent. It does look like it's starting to flatten out a bit here. And your momentum wave on NAMI on the 4-hour is starting to get a little bit extended here. But let's zoom it onto the hourly chart and let's look at NAMI on the hourly. So yeah, NAMI on the hourly chart, we were seeing that bull div between these two lows, this low and this low here, bull divs coming into yesterday's lows. And your money flow bottomed out, and your money flow has been steadily rising on NAMI here. And we even had a hidden bullish signal confirm when we made the lows this morning on NAMI, which I did look at as part of a signal to long the reclaim of the point of control. And so NAMI is helping out with that. Those hidden bull signals are very nice signals to look at. But I do think if Bitcoin can start to, one of the things that's a little bit dangerous is starting to form a range down at support and hitting into it multiple times, because the more times you hit into it, it gets weaker and weaker, and then eventually you will lose it with volume to the downside. But if we cannot hit the bottom of the channel again, but just come down to that naked daily point of control, see a bounce from there, then we could take it. And one of the very, very local levels of interest that I would be looking at is those highs from Sunday that we rejected from. You can see these highs when we lost our channel midline. You can see we were grinding down all through Saturday, lost our channel midline, back tested our channel midline bearishly, and then dumped to the bottom of the channel. So that channel midline rejection from yesterday is pretty important there. And you can see that's at 95,772. Well, right above that at 95,865, we have a naked daily point of control. So that general area, the SFP of those highs into your naked daily point of control, would be a TP1 for me on this long. It would be TP1. Then on top of that, I would leave the rest to run. I would either get stopped out on the rest, or I would get my take profit level hit around 98K. That is kind of my local trade opportunity that I'm looking at here. I just want to warn, guys, my thumbnail today is going to be warning of a bigger crash coming, because I do think that if we lose this ascending channel, we could see that bigger correction to the downside. So as far as those bigger corrections to the downside, like I've been saying, our prior range here from the 76.6K lows all the way until we broke out of this range, the value area high of that range is around 88.6. And we have not back tested this range since we broke out of it. Generally, in a healthy market, you do see a bullish backtest of that range to confirm the flip to support before continuing up to higher levels. Now that we have hit into our main resistance level on the chart, being that point of control area, and we are seeing a rejection, if we start to lose our trend, being this ascending channel, I do think it's a possibility we could flush down to 88.6. We do have some micro support levels before that, but I do think it's a possibility we could flush down to backtest this area of 88.6, which also you can see here was acting as strong resistance until we broke it to the upside. So now it should act as strong support if we are going to continue in an overall bullish trend to the upside. But yeah, Bitcoin is kind of slow today, just hanging on around the bottom of the channel, but it's not losing the ascending channel. So the trend is your friend until the end. Well, we're trending upwards and to the right in this ascending channel. Until we lose this, we do have to have a bias that maybe Bitcoin can make one more high into that daily level at 98.3 and then see another drive of bear div coming on the charts and then see a bigger drop. If we lose that ascending channel before, like if it comes down again and does not hold and we lose it like now or in the next day, then I do think that we can see that bigger crash to the downside that I'll be warning about in my thumbnail. But other than that, Bitcoin, not too much going on. We can trade the range until it breaks, and we know that we are in this micro range. Let me go ahead and turn this micro range back on. This is just from April 22nd, last Tuesday, so about a week now, one day less than a week. You can see we're trading in this range, bouncing from the point of control. As long as this point of control and this channel holds, I do think we can make our way up to the, at least up to the value area high up here. But if we start to lose this channel and this point of control area, we can work our way down to the value area low, which you can see our first micro support level is around that value area low. So what I'm looking for is not a bounce exactly from the value area low. I would like to come down just a little bit further to sweep the liquidity of both of these lows here into our macro value area low. That's the value area low of our previous all-time high range. See that liquidity grab, and then upon the reclaim of that level of this low, upon the reclaim, you could look for a long, or even you could be more conservative and wait for the reclaim of the value area low. Then you could long from there. So that will be my next scalp long opportunity if and only if we see the SFP. I am not setting limits down here and hoping that it SFPs. So actually, if you want to be more conservative, you wait for the SFP, you put your low wherever the stop, wherever the wick wicks down to, you put your stop below that low, and you would look to bring it up. I probably would look to bring it up to the local golden pocket area, because at that time we would be changing market structure bearishly. So then you would do your golden pocket pull from the highs to the lows. Let's just say I'm going to bring it right down here. So, and you can see that golden pocket pull would be right around that naked daily point of control. That would be a TP1 on this trade idea here. And then of course TP2 would be up at the top of the channel and the daily, which is a very nice risk to reward ratio. So that's the two local longs that I'm looking for. If we do not SFP these lows, I do think that the channel lows, so oftentimes when you break an ascending channel down, you will come grab the liquidity of at least the second pivot of the channel, which is pretty much in alignment with the liquidity grab that we're looking at this first micro support level around 92.8. But sometimes when you break an ascending channel down, you will come sweep all the liquidity of that channel, taking the lows of that channel, which is this guy down here. And this swing failure pattern is around 91,700-ish, 91,600-ish, let's say. And if we look on our liquidation heat map here, you can see this is our Model 3 heat map looking at the last 2 weeks of price action. Well, where does all our liquidity end? Right around that 91,600 would grab all that local liquidity that's just below us. It's the majority of the strongest level of liquidity locally is below us. So I do think there's a possibility that we could come sweep the liquidity of the lows of the channel into our box of support. Now, I know that's kind of a big SFP here, but right around 91K, we do have that 1 hour order block in here. We do have a naked daily point of control, and our anchored VWAP that we have not back tested yet is in there. This anchored VWAP is from the all-time high. And by the time we get down here, this anchored VWAP could be up a little bit higher here towards the box, right at like 91K, where we could see 91K hold as well. So yes, I know I'm giving you guys a lot of levels and a lot of different scenarios, but right now Bitcoin is still maintaining its trend. if we lose that trend, we could see a quick flush down to 91K to 90.5K. If we lose that, looking for 88.6. And then if we lose that, Bitcoin's going to start getting in some real trouble here. We could see that much bigger short position play out, that much bigger drop down, maybe to 83K, 82.6, 83K. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for Bitcoin right now. Not too much happening. We are just seeing a bit of some consolidation at the bottom of our channel, which is kind of nice to see. If it can hold, then I will look for that bigger push up to 98.3K. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to clean up this chart real quick. I'll leave this long ID on the chart. I am going to set an alert on this naked daily point of control, because if we do tap into it with bull divs, I will look for a scalp long. So here, no. Okay. There we go. Okay. And that's about it for Bitcoin, guys. Not too much else to talk about. Yeah, we talked about the liquidation levels. We talked about the CVD and open interest. And we're just trending within the channel. Pitchfork, we've lost that pitchfork now. That pitchfork I was talking about a couple days ago. So that is no longer relevant. We actually can just delete that off the chart. And that is it. Let's now go on to Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum is still chopping around. So let's zoom out on Ethereum just a bit here. Let's go on to the hourly chart. You can see we're still just chopping within our range as well on Ethereum. And this range goes back to last Tuesday as well. So the same type of range that Bitcoin's in. But you can see on Ethereum, I have this pitchfork that was pulled. This is a bearish pitchfork, but you can see that we lost that pitchfork to the downside. And then on this relief rally to the upside, let me hide this channel for a second here. You can see that we reclaimed inside the pitchfork, pumped up to the upper band, the lower band of the pitchfork, which was also within our resistance, dropped to that SR flip level that I've been talking about, and it was also the bottom of the pitchfork, bounced, we were just forming a range, bouncing between our resistance and our support levels, resistance again, support again. But you can see now that we have re-entered this pitchfork, it has held its support 1 time, 2 times, 3 times on the chart here. It held at the base, held its support 3 times. Then we pumped up through the band, and now we're trying to flip the band to support. You can see even up here, the band now, let me go ahead and get rid of that. 1 time, 2 times, and now we are busting above the band. So could the band hold its support? I do think that's a possibility that the band could hold its support, and then we could push up even further up to the pitchfork midline, or honestly, I'd want to see some time pass, but having this upper band align with our next resistance area. So it's looking pretty good, but as far as if Bitcoin does lose that ascending channel, I do think we could drop down to the bottom of our pitchfork again, which you can see that anchored VWAP. Let me zoom out a bit here. Let's go on to the 3-hour chart. You can see our anchored VWAP from the lows on Ethereum is going to be aligning very nicely with the bottom of the pitchfork once again. So if we start to lose this band, I expect a quick flush down, grab all the liquidity, all these lows of the range into the bottom of our pitchfork, into our anchored VWAP here, and then you could see another push, one more push up as well. I am still looking at this previous range point of control at the top of the purple box as a possible rejection area. So if we hold this band now and make one more push up with bear divs, see the SFP of, what day was that? Of Thursday's highs into the previous range point of control and reject, I will be looking for a short from that area. So yeah, but I mean, like, let's look on the chart here. We're on the 3-hour chart. You can see all these higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the momentum waves, and money flow has been draining and now has crossed into the red on the 3-hour chart. What this is telling me, this is warning signals of a bigger pullback coming, or at least a pullback to grab all the liquidity of this range. The liquidity that is resting down at 1723, or even coming a little bit lower to the pitchfork bottom around 1695, 1695 to 1700. Now, if we look at our prior highs from our last range, you can see those prior highs are also right in that area. So anytime you see a range like this, our prior range from a couple weeks ago, and you break that range to the upside, oftentimes you will come back for a bullish backtest of that range to confirm the flip to support to continue higher, just like we were looking at on Bitcoin with its previous range. So this is an area where you could be interested in a long from, that general area right there. And actually, while we're here, we could just go ahead and set an alert. Let me get this. I will just click on this. I'll leave that on the chart. We can set an alert here, and we can just create an alert here. So if we come down there with bull divs, I will look for a long from that area based off of the anchored VWAP, based off of the bottom of the pitchfork, and based off of our prior highs there. But that's about it for Ethereum. Ethereum is still ranging within this range, so you can trade the range until it breaks. If we go ahead and pull that volume profile and put it back on the chart, let's see, that's our prior one. There we go. Okay, and we just look at this volume profile. We did bounce from the point of control, just like Bitcoin did. We came up just recently in the last hour or so. We've come up to the value area high, and we are rejecting from the value area high. So now that we are rejecting from the value area high, maybe we can expect to push at least down to the value area low. If we do a Fibonacci pull, now this is like very like intraday trading, scalp trading a range. But if we just look at our Fibonacci pull from the last big hourly lows to our highs that we made on Thursday, we look at that 786. You can see that 786 is going to be around the value area low. That could be an area where you bounce. I am a little bit hesitant on looking for longs from here because we'd be losing the pitchfork band. And in that case, I do think we could see a bigger flush all the way down to the bottom, to 1691 area. So personally, I will not be looking for longs from this area. But this is, if you're a scalper, you could just trade the range until it breaks. I will scalp Bitcoin, but I'm not going to be scalping Ethereum here. That is about it for Ethereum. Let's go ahead. Actually, did I talk about on Bitcoin? Let's zoom back out to the 4-hour chart. I guess we can leave that for the next video. If Bitcoin and Ethereum start to lose these levels of support that I just talked about, then we could see that bigger flush to the downside. So I will talk about that in the next videos. Really, the key level for Bitcoin to hold is going to be that 88,600 level, those prior highs of our prior range, and it's also the value area high of our prior range. If we start losing 88,600, I do think we could see a much bigger flush down, or even a flush down to take out our lows down at 74K. So, what the heck? These guys here. All right, let's go now to Solana. Solana has been a little bit different than Bitcoin and Ethereum. So unlike an ascending channel, Solana's been in a descending channel. And let me go ahead and hide this range for a second. And I want to talk about this descending channel because I've been watching this and we were looking at that push down to the 0.5. So if Solana is in a bullish impulse to the upside, seeing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to make one more push up on Solana, then really what we want to see is a 3-wave corrective move down here. So you can see here, 1, 2, if we see that third corrective move to come take out our lows right around the 0.5, right around 140K, not 140K, $140 into the bottom of the descending channel, I will be looking for a long because this looks corrective to me so far. This push down from the highs at 157 does look corrective to me. And I do think Solana is looking like I want to see a little bit more of a move down to the bottom of the channel to grab our range lows. So just like Bitcoin and Ethereum, we're in a small range here. And that range goes back to last Tuesday as well. So Tuesday, about a week now, 6 days now. So if we do come take out our lows of the range into the bottom of the descending channel, grabbing our liquidity into support, I would look for a long there to at least bring up to the top of the channel, or actually to bring probably up to 161.8. You can see on the charts, we did have the lower high rejection area marked out ahead of time. We did hit into that area and we did reject from that area. That was an internal liquidity grab into our 786 level. We didn't quite hit the naked daily point of control that was at the top of the box, but we had this marked out ahead of time to look for a short from this area, and that short is playing out. Also, we did look for a long from the reclaim of the point of control here, and that's why I completely TP'd that long at that area when we started to reject from that purple box. So that Solana long has been closed out. I do like the way Solana looks a bit better than Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's go on to the 2-hour chart here. And you can see very nicely here. Well, first of all, money flow looks pretty good. Now it's just starting to come out here. But our momentum waves, even though it's not bull divs, we did have bull divs here. But now, in a nice trigger wave with a higher low here, holding our overall bigger point of control. Now, this point of control that's right below us that we're finding support on is the point of control of our range since March of 2024. So over a year-long range. And it's holding overall this range. But I would like to see one more quick flush down, reclaim it real quickly, only like a daily wick down below it to sweep the liquidity of these lows into the 0.5, which you can see we also front ran that 0.5 just barely. And that would also, the 0.5 is one of the most common targets in a fourth wave correction. We've already hit the 382, but that 0.5 was front run. So I'd like to see one more push down to the bottom of the channel, hitting into that 0.5, grabbing this liquidity, and then seeing a move up to 161.8 or even a bit higher. But yeah, Solana looks pretty good to me, guys. Solana does look pretty good to me, and I do think Solana, this descending channel that we're trading in Solana, looks more corrective, and it does look like Solana wants to see a bigger push to the upside. If we zoom out onto our daily chart, one of the things that we did see that momentum wave top out on the daily, but look at this on the daily so far. Our daily momentum wave looks like it's trying to curve back up here. Also on NAMI, we have the hidden bull divs into these lows down here. And now what I would like to see is one more push down to make bull divs as well, along with those hidden bull divs. On NAMI, our money flow is a bit quicker than on Market Cipher B, and you can see on NAMI, that money flow is finally starting to cross over into the red here. So that is telling me that we could see one more little push down. At least that's what I would like to see. Now, the market doesn't always give you what you like. But yeah, so let's zoom in and look at, we did reject just like an hour ago from that naked weekly point of control, where Bitcoin also rejected from its naked weekly point of control. You can see Solana came up and touched it to the dollar and rejected from that naked weekly point of control. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that now because that has been hit. And let's double check. Let's make sure on that actually. Let me zoom out onto the 2-hour chart. Okay, actually, it's still naked. It was just barely front run. So maybe we come up one more time to hit that naked daily point of control. Naked weekly point of control. Obviously, this one we're not paying attention to because that's our current week and it's only Monday. But yeah, I do like that naked weekly point of control around 147.7, right up there. And if we reject from that, you can also see we do have some internal highs. So let me turn that off now. And actually, I'll turn it back on so I can remark it out. Okay, there we go. Naked weekly point of control there. And if we do come up to that naked weekly point of control again, we do have this Sunday's highs. So remember, I talked about weekend highs and lows. Sunday's highs, before we saw that big drop on Sunday, we have Sunday highs that are resting right above there. So an SFP of both the naked weekly point of control and that high would be nice to see, and then we could get that flush down. Just very locally. That's what I would like to see. Overall, that's about it for Solana. Solana's just ranging. It looks more corrective. It does look pretty bullish on the charts. I do want to see a flush down. Maybe we come up and grab that, hit that naked weekly now that I see that it's still actually naked, and then see the flush down. But Solana, I am looking for longs on Solana overall at support levels, not where we're at now, at support levels. If Solana does lose, like say Bitcoin really starts to dump and lose It's support. I do like this green box that we have down here on the charts for Solana. We have the SFP into a 786. Our anchored VWAP is going to be close into that box by the time we get down there. And then we have our pitchfork band of support down here. So this area would be a nice area to see. Also, if we grab a Fibonacci, and yeah, I guess that's where our 786 is. So I just explained that. 786 is at that box. 786. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to shorten up this box a bit because you want to see that SFB go a little bit past the level. You want to see it pierce the level and then make a rise. So I'm going to shorten that box because our 786 and our pitchfork band is a bit lower, and same with our anchor VWAP down here. So that's the box, the next box of support. If we lose that, I'll be looking at 123. And then if we lose that, 123.46. If we lose that, of course, we got some levels lower on the charts as well. We can discuss that. But yeah, Solana looks pretty good. Okay, on to XRP. XRP here. Let's go zoom in onto the hourly chart. I turned off all my levels on XRP because I was working with some stuff here. Okay, XRP overall, let me turn off these resistance boxes first, and looks like we are still chopping within this small descending channel. This small descending channel does look pretty good and corrective on XRP. You can see we had a fake out loss of it. Then we pumped to the top of it, rejected the top of it again, and now we're chopping around the bottom of it. You could even take this channel, and now we could even extend it down to this area here, where you can see the midline is where we're chopping around. It's not the cleanest. What's really important is the top of the channel. If we break this, then we could see a bigger push to the upside. But as far as our bigger channel goes, so let me turn off the small channel and let's zoom out onto the daily chart. You can see our big daily descending channel here. I had it pulled from our two lows up to our high, and this channel was pulled. Let's see, you could even throw it a little. Actually, it was these two highs, excuse me. These two highs here down to this low. And since we've made those two highs down, and then we had that mega crash, we've been trading within this descending channel. We reclaimed the midline, flipped it to support, continued up to make new highs in this relief rally on the daily chart. But we are starting to find some exhaustion. You can see our money flow on the daily is now coming out again. And we did top out on our momentum waves, not quite making it up to our anchored VWAP from the all-time high. But if we zoom in onto the 2-hour chart here, we do have a nice little range, excuse me, a nice little range that's forming on XRP as well. And I would say this range even goes back further than Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana's range. It goes back to April 12th, so like 2 weeks of range. You could just grab your volume profile and you could pull that range. We're starting to lose the point of control of that range. So if we did come down to the value area low of that range, looks like we already tried to grab our local liquidity and didn't see much of a reaction from these two lows down here. Let's go ahead and look at a Fibonacci pull from the bullish backtest of our channel midline of our big channel to our highs. Okay, 786 looks like it has been tapped. Has it? Let's see. Yeah. No, it's been front run just barely. So that 786 near the value area low could be a nice little area because look at this liquidity curve we're building here. That is a parabolic liquidity curve. If we bounce, we could sweep that so fast and start coming up. And I do think XRP does look pretty good, but we haven't quite hit support yet. So we are money flow looks pretty bad on the 2-hour. It's coming out here, but we are forming bull divs. You can see these bull divs here. So I would actually wait until we hit a support level, being that Fibonacci 786 or the value area low of the range. And let's go ahead and turn on our support boxes. So yeah, and other than that, I would be looking down a little bit further to grab our lows down here around, what is that, 207. I do believe we have a weekly down there as well. Let's turn on our weeklies. Yeah, we do have a weekly at 207 that you could look for. Let me go ahead and get rid of some of this stuff real quick. Okay, let's turn on our levels here. Looks like we have a naked monthly point of control that just confirmed a couple days ago. Now it looks like it's been hit through. Naked weekly points of controls. Okay. We still haven't hit that. Naked dailies. Okay. Looks like we're rejecting from the naked daily that we formed yesterday. So that is why we rejected as well. It was not only the channel, but it was a naked daily. So we can take that off the chart now. We've hit into that. Oh, okay. Very, very nice. Actually, this is the level. This is it, guys. This is it. We have a monthly level, a new monthly level of support in confluence with our value area low of our small range near the 786. I'm actually going to look at our 886. 886 is a bit lower. Okay, that's perfect, though. We don't want to hit the 886. So I do like the way this looks so far. This does look like a three-wave corrective move. If we come down to that monthly level, hitting into that value area low at the monthly, we could see a big bounce up from there. Let's actually check this out real quick. Okay, our ABC corrective target's quite a bit lower. It would actually be taking out our lows from, what is that, April 16th? Taking out those lows into our one-to-one. We do have to be aware of that. The SFP into our ABC correction target. But I would say this is the first level of support I'm interested in. Value area low and monthly. I'm actually going to look at, I want to turn that off. I want to get rid of this. Let's hide this. And I want to just double check to make sure that monthly is actually a fresh monthly. Yes, it is. Okay, that's the level 208 to like 209 pretty much. 208.85 is a level I would be looking for XRP to see a bounce from if it's going to remain bullish here. Weekly doesn't look so good. Money flow's just starting to cross into the red, and our weekly momentum wave is starting to curve over. We were seeing the bull divs, hidden bull divs, excuse me, on the weekly on NAMI. Let's go to our daily chart and let's check out our daily chart. Yeah, I mean, we could see some hidden bull divs already confirm if we bounce from that monthly. You could see it would be higher lows in the price action, and then at least on NAMI, lower lows on the momentum waves. Hidden bull divs coming into that monthly. But that monthly is the first level I'm interested in because it's also the value area low of our small range. If we look at our big range, let's actually turn on our big range here. Okay, big range, the value area low is a bit lower. Let's go to the 6-hour chart. Yeah, I would say, let's do that. Value area low is around the monthly. We're at that area where now we have reclaimed of our big range since December. We have reclaimed the value area low. We back tested that value area low, which was also the channel midline, which if you guys remember my videos back in here, I was looking for longs from this area. We got that. We pushed up, made new highs. That's all we were looking for, is to come take out these highs. We've done that. We have not quite pushed up to the point of control of the range yet. So what I would be expecting is if we can bounce from this monthly, we can maybe make that push up to the anchored VWAP and the point of control, which is our real big resistance on the charts, up around 240 to 241. Okay, and then other than that, I would say if we lose, let's double check to make sure this is fresh. Golden pocket. Yeah, our golden pocket, we do have a weekly level in confluence with our golden pocket. Let's turn on our weeklies. Yes, around 192. 192 to 187. That's the level I would also be looking at for a bigger overall higher low to come in on the charts to work our way up to that point of control. You can also see we have a fresh weekly up near this point of control in this anchored VWAP. So that's definitely a resistance zone. Yeah, I got that marked out already. I just need to scoot it over or extend it. We did reject from this box, but I left it on the charts because we did not have the daily being hit yet. We had a daily at 237 that was not hit yet. Now you can see I have a new box of resistance. I just made this yesterday. Let me zoom in onto the 2-hour chart. Let me turn off our big range. Okay. And this box is the box that I made yesterday. This box here is our first box of resistance above, where we could see the sweep of all this liquidity that we've been building, this huge parabolic liquidity curve, not huge, but local parabolic liquidity curve. If we bounce from the monthly, I expect us to sweep that real quick up into this resistance box. Now, this resistance box, we have a fresh daily level that's up there. We have a golden pocket, which now is going to be changed just very slightly. And if we make new lows, it will be changed. And then we have the naked daily point of control up there. So let's go ahead and turn on that naked daily point of control. Okay, and value area high. The value area high was of this very small range. Okay, value area high shifted down. So what we can do with this box is take it and shift it down a bit and over. I want to bring that this way. Okay, so we have a value area high, a golden pocket, a naked daily point of control, and a daily level. So where's that daily at? A little bit higher, so we're going to extend that. Okay, that is what I'm looking at here on XRP as your local level of resistance above us. But first, I would like to see us at least work our way down to this monthly and that value area low. I'm actually going to look for a long from here. I just want to set an alert there. Okay, that is it for XRP. Now let's go on to Chainlink. Chainlink is starting to lose our descending channel, kind of like the same descending channel that Solana is in. But I have a major concern about Chainlink, and I'm going to go into that right now because I was talking about rejecting from the 1-to-1 Fibonacci target. So seeing a three-wave move up, this contracting diagonal in a wave 1, your wave 2, and then your wave 3 push to the upside, hitting into your 1-to-1 Fib target, and then seeing that bigger dump to the downside. So if we look at that Fibonacci extinction pull, we can see here that Chainlink, oh, it did not hit into it. Okay, we did not hit into it. I thought we did. Chainlink has not come up there yet, so that's actually kind of a good thing. That means that this could be a wave 4 if we're looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pushing up, and then you're not going to really be looking at these targets anymore. You'd be looking at higher targets. But one of the things that I would look at, if this is a wave 4 retrace to the upside, you want to pull your Fibonacci. You can see I have it marked out on the chart already, from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3. And you do not want to, your most common targets are between the 382 and the 0.5. Well, we're at the 0.5 right now, and we're not really finding any strength here. What you want to see is if you hit that golden pocket just below us, it's going to invalidate this being a wave 4 at least. We're breaking that descending channel, and actually we could do this. We could pull it to this low here. But either way, you're still breaking that descending channel to the downside. And I don't like that one as much as I like that one. Midline works better. So yeah, actually, if we zoom in here, you can see what happened. We lost the descending channel, came back up for a bearish backtest, rejected, and now we're dropping. We really want to hold the level of support that we're kind of at now. I do like that we are seeing 15-minute bull divs on the chart, lower lows through all of this, higher lows here. Money flow looks to kind of be bottoming out on the 15-minute. So maybe we get one more local SFP and then see a push up back. We need to get back within this channel pretty quickly here. Let's zoom out to the 2-hour chart. You can see we're also at our prior highs right here. These prior highs that were acting as resistance are now trying to hold as support. So we really need this level to hold where we're at right now. Let me turn on Pitchfork. We're losing the Pitchfork band. That's not a good sign. Let's turn off our range for a second. Zoom out to the 4-hour chart. Yeah, we bounced from the bottom of the Pitchfork, came up to the band, rejecting from the band, and unfortunately, if we really start to lose this band, we could see a much bigger drop. I would actually be looking, if we hit this golden pocket at 13.22, it's going to invalidate a wave 4 retrace before a fifth wave to the upside. So in that case, we could be looking at our big golden pocket pull, which I do like that. I think I have a support box there. Yes, I do. So we have a support box there because we have a SFP into a golden pocket, and that's always good. You can see our SFP here into our golden pocket. But before that, we do have a smaller golden pocket and a daily. Now, I did say it would invalidate the fourth wave, but that doesn't mean you won't get a bounce from here. You could still take a long from here, but you would be looking to take profit at a lower high. So if we do come down here, let's say that we come down to this daily level. Let's turn that on. Yeah, we have a daily level down here at 13.1 at the bottom of the box, and we have our golden pocket. Let's actually make this the way it's supposed to be. And let's just double check that there's nothing else there. Yeah, okay, so daily into golden pocket. So if we do come down there, it will invalidate this structure as a 5-wave impulse. It would invalidate this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But what we would want, we could still see a bounce from here, looking for a long, and then I would take profit at the lower high. So I would do this. I would pull my golden pocket from the highs to wherever the lows are, and I would take profit at the golden pocket 786 area. Or maybe even at the back test of the pitchfork band, to be honest. But that's theoretical right now. We have not come down to that area yet. Money flow does not look too good on the 4-hour on Chainlink. I mean, our momentum wave's bottoming out. We're seeing some green dots here, but money flow just does not look good. Ugh, horrible. Yeah. Okay, that is about it for Chainlink. Chainlink, unfortunately, is just not looking near as bullish as Solana, not looking near as bullish as some of the other coins that we're seeing. I just want to check Bitcoin real quick. Okay, Bitcoin's continuing to drop a bit. Remember that naked daily point of control at 94, 150-ish is going to be a local level to look for longs, but we want to see bull divs. If we don't see bull divs there on lower time frames like 6, 3, 1 minute, then I'm not going to be looking for a long from here. Money flow on the 15 is now curving out again for Solana, or not, for Bitcoin, excuse me. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and stop this video and get it out to you guys so you can try to maybe get in on this trade before it happens, if it does. If you guys did get anything out of this video, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Also, I do have a couple partners of the channel. I have BYDFI and MEXC. Links are in the description, in the comments. It is affiliate links, but so I do get a small kickback if you sign up using me, but it's a win-win situation because you guys can get discounts on your trading fees. BYDFI is doing up to 15% cash back on whatever you deposit, up to $1,000, a cash back, that is. And then MEXC is 10% cash back. And then also you can get up to $8,100 in trading bonuses, depending on how much you trade on BYDFI, and up to $20,000 in trading bonuses, depending on how much you trade on MEXC. So links are in the descriptions and the comments for that. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow.